In the last video, we have discussed about the entire data structure for the stablecoin purchase model we have included in the smart contract. That we have discussed about the pricing, we have discussed about the checking of the token supply in the contract, we have discussed about the price ratio which we have token for the each of the token. So if you haven't watched the video, make sure to watch it. In this video, we'll try to understand about the token ICO purchase we have in our smart contract, which is the main feature for selling our own cryptocurrency. So this is the dashboard where you will find the complete stat about the ICO going on. So you can see the name of the token, we have symbol and the total supply of the token. And this one is very important because when you are trying to sell your token into any marketplace in your DApp, you have to tell that how much supply you have of your token. So when you will provide this information, user can easily able to make the calculation and they can calculate the worth of the price they're going to get in the future. So we have the total supply and currently this much token is available for the ICO in the contract. We have the active progress bar which will display the data about how many token got sold in terms of percentage, and that makes quite interactive for the user. And here we have the price, because the price ratio we are following in this particular smart contract is called two-stage pricing. First stage, the price is going this much for the dollar, and the second stage pricing we have is this one. So you can simply go with the same first stage pricing or you can go with the second stage pricing. It's totally up to you, but you should have two-stage pricing. In that way, user can able to know that this pricing is happening. So if I buy early, in the next stage I will have a chance for getting profit, and the value of investment which I have done, it can be double. So that's kind of strategy which you have to include in your project. The next one we have is that how much money we have raised after selling the token. So in terms of dollar, means you have to decide the token price in terms of dollar and in terms of ETH, because we are following the both architecture. We are providing the user to buy with the USDT. You can see they can buy with USDT and they can buy with USDC. And here we have the total tokens sold so far, and this is the remaining supply is left in the smart contract. So if they want to buy it, you can simply come back here and they can give the quantity. So you can see this is the price ratio we have set. So let me drag it down. So if one token, like one token is going to cost 0.001 ETH. This is the price which we have second, but you can simply update this price to any price. Like we have this next stage pricing. So in the next stage, after 6 months of launch, if you want to go to the next pricing, you can simply go and you can simply update that to the next stage pricing. So we have one function. That's how you have to identify that what are the function the smart contract can hold. So that's the one function we have, the ratio which we're going to provide. So we can update that as well. So user can give their quantity and they can expect that how much they will get as a return in terms of their investment, and they can simply call this buy, and the transaction is going to be take place, and all they have to do is to confirm the transaction. When they will do the confirmation, we are simply processing the data in multiple places. First, we are processing in the referral. Second, we are processing in the transaction. Third, we are processing in the mapping the data of the referral, like mapping data. And third thing, that what kind of purchase it is, because it could be like ETH or USDT, or we have this USDC. So you have to map it, and based on that we have to categorize the entire data structure in the smart contract so we can display in property section. So one single transaction can map a lot of data, and you can see it's a very huge contract where we have to keep the track of every single thing. So as soon as I make the purchase, you can see I got the transaction amount, the timing, we have seen the type of transaction because we have used the ETH for making the purchase. If I want to make the purchase for USDT, you can see right now the ratio we have set. So you can simply update the ratio. Currently the ratio we have for the USDT. So if user will spend 1 USDT, so the ratio I have said is 20 token. They will get 20 token. That's the ratio we have set. Same for the USDC, but you can play around with this ratio. If you want to set a individual ratio for each one of this token, for example, like for USDT, you want to set it for 20, but for USDC, you want to set for 10 or maybe 30. It's totally up to you. But the reason why we are following the equal ratio for the token, because both are the stable coin, and that's what you have to keep in mind. Most of you get confused when it's come to a stable coin between USDC and USDT. Both are the stable coin, do both follow the dollar. So we have to set the equal pricing. That's how we give more mature system in our smart contract. Got it? That's the ratio section. Now, if I want to make a purchase, so the moment I will do this purchase, and you can see I'm giving my 5 USDT, and here is the interesting thing. Like the moment you will pay the money, this money can go straight away to the admin account. Like admin can receive this particular fund, and the token will transfer from the contract. It go from contract. I hope you can understand. you have two options. You can keep this particular fund in the contract to maintain the supply. That's the one thing you can do. Or you can simply transfer this fund to straight away to your wallet address or any particular wallet address where you want to do the transfer. So the moment I will do the confirmation, is going to perform two transactions. First, because this is a stable coin, it's follow a crypto architecture, the token architecture. So first we have to approve, because this will go to the contract and the contract is going to be transferred to the admin account. So if I call this particular function, you will see it will process the data. Right now we are approving, we are giving the approval to the contract, the ICO contract, to perform the transaction. You can able to find the data. We have the approve function. Now click on this confirm. The moment you will do the confirm, the transaction is completed. And now the transfer of the token as well as the fund is happening in this single transaction. You can see we are calling this buy. In this single transaction, the entire fund is getting transferred to the admin as well as the user. So the moment I will click on this confirm, the transaction is processed. You can see the data is reflecting absolutely fine. If you come back here in the transaction section, we have invested 5 USDT and we got this much token. If you come back to the user information, then you will also find the recent purchase. And if you go back to the transaction, right, we got it. So this is how we are mapping the entire transaction system in the same way with the USDT. In the same way, we can do that USDT. If you can see, right now we have this much. Like we are following the same 20 ratio. But if you want to update, like as an admin, I have the option to provide a different ratio. So for example, if I go to my function and here we have the function stable coin. So from here you can able to change the ratio. So user can purchase the token based on the ratio which you will set. I hope you can understand my point that we are following the stable architecture, means whatever the price which you will set for the token is going to be applied both for the USDT and pricing will apply, but you have an option as an admin to make a separate pricing. So when you will buy the token using any one of these tokens, is going to take two transaction. First is going to be approval and second one is going to be buying. So that's the thing which you have to keep in mind. It's going to take two transactions. And that's how the user can make the purchase and the entire transaction will take place in the contract. So let me show you the contract overview so you will have a clear-cut understanding that what exactly we are following. So you can see this is the ETH pricing we are setting as a default. So when the user will deploy the contract, they can set any pricing, but I'm going with the most stable pricing, which is this one. Both for the stable coin, which we have discussed in the last video, and this one is the ETH pricing. You can see the ratio we have here. So right now we are updating the ratio at the time of deployment of the contract. So you will find that here we are following for the ratio called 2020, but you can follow any. If you want to change it for 10, you can do that. There's no problem in that. You can set any ratio. And here we have the option which allows us to update. So if you want to update the ratio, you can do that. You can pass the address and the ratio which you want to provide as a newly. It could be a 10, 30, 40, it's totally up to you. Same with the USDT, that's what we are doing. And here we have this one. So when we'll deploy the contract, we have to set the token which we want to sell in the marketplace. So if I come back here, if I go back to the contract, if I go back to the admin function, we have to exactly tell that which token we want to sell. And we have to specify the USDT and USDC addresses in the contract. And that's the first thing you have to do after deploying the contract. So you have to update the token, you have to update the USDT and USDC address and the ratio. So the contract data would be set and the user can start making the purchase. So this is the few important function we have in the contract which you have to execute after deploying the contract. Then the rest of the feature we have for the buying with the ETH, buying with USDT, buying with USDC, which is the regular function which is going to execute the true transaction which we have seen in the demo. And the rest will be fine. So I hope you have understood. This is going to transfer all the data into our entire component structure we have built. Like you can able to find the data is actually distributed, all of the section which is distributed exactly. In the same way, we can able to find the data right up here in the transaction model. And you can also find the data in the referral model. So currently I have used this particular referral ID for making the transaction. The moment I will switch back to account number 4, you will find that particular account has received the referral. So if I come back here, you can see we made 2 transactions and that's what this particular referral we have received, like 50 and 5. I hope you can understand that how we are keeping the track of the entire transaction and distributing the data evenly into all void address and the contract to every single feature we have included, because it's not a single business model we are following. We are following staking, we are following referral, we are following buying stablecoin, we are following buying with USDT, USDT. So this is very important architecture which you have to understand. So I hope you have got the point that how this entire buying feature would work. And we are displaying the buying feature right up here in this particular dashboard. And we also have a buying feature right up here in the home section where we are displaying the data. It's fetching the data and we are feeding into our components. You can see we have the active progress bar, the worth of token, the supply and the balance which we are displaying. So we can make the purchase right from here. So I can simply give my quantity. So as example, for I want to give 2, I'll get 20, and I don't have enough fund from this particular account, so I'll go with ETH, and I can click on this buy. It's going to make a call, and I have to simply perform the transaction. Let's perform the transaction. So here we have done the purchase and the token is purchased successfully. So I want you to remember this architecture, that how this is happening and what kind of feature we're going to have in the contract, because this is the same knowledge we're going to take in the contract when we're going to start developing the smart contract and doing the testing. So this one is very important. So that's the only thing from my end. If you have any question in doubt, do let me in the comment section. I'll definitely try to help in that. Have a wonderful day. Bye bye.